So yeah, that intro aside, this is going to be Light against JH. Terran against Zerg. Of course, Light is on the Zerg, not on the Terran. We've got JH on the Terran. And as you can see by the length of the video, this is going to be one of my greatest regrets ever. But nonetheless, people wanted to see Zerg versus Terran, where the Terran just doesn't roll over the Zerg. And I thought, I have seen this replay, although I don't remember the specifics because I saw it about a year ago. Maybe a little bit less, like somewhere in September last year. So almost a year ago. That's when I saw this replay. So I don't really know what is going to happen. But I can assure you, this is not going to be a rollover for the Terran. This is going to be an exciting match. Or so I hope. I'm not sure. I have no memory. Just know this is a long replay. I hope I didn't spoil anything. But it's going to be a long replay. So yesterday I had a short discussion with someone in the comments that a Zerg either has to do a choke, an all-in build order. Yeah, it's either all-in, do a timed counterattack, or turtle really hard. Now, turtling really hard is really difficult if you don't have a choke. So that kind of means that this has to be an all-in build order, or a timed counterattack. It goes for 2 hatchers there right off the bat. So Light is up to something funky. Not quite sure what kind of funk he's up to, but it's definitely not going to be something defensive. It's going to be rather offensive. At least that's what I hope to believe. That's what I want to see. But I'm not sure. JH, here under the name Hare, we haven't looked at him yet. He's on the Terran here in the bottom corner. It took quite a while before I, looked at him. But he starts off with a barrack into a depot, into 2 more barracks and a depot. So that is the standard build order there for Terran into either Protoss or into Zerg. And he's just going to do the normal stuff. He's scouting there across the map with his SCV, with his Marine, hoping to find a choke because he's scouting only the entrances, expecting to find a hatchery. But there's no hatchery to be found. He's going to enter the entire spot though here because now he knows that while he has to start scouting for real at one place, he doesn't see the overlord of course, but when he's not scouting for real, he's still only scouting the chokes. This is actually amazingly good for Light because this gives Light a little bit more time before he gets found out. But he does know that JH he already knows that JH is coming because of his overlord there in the front, so he has more time to prepare. He has his lair already on the way. Sunken is finishing up before he gets scouted. And it looks like he's finally finding him. He finally sees the creep. Sorry, he had a cough. So he finally finds where Light is located. But he might already be a little bit too far behind on the facts because that lair is going to finish. He does have a couple Marines there on the way. He's got Stim upgrade soon to be on the way because the Academy hasn't finished yet. That is one of the downsides of going for an 8 barracks build order instead of a 9 barracks build order, is that for some reason you can build an Academy a little bit later than you usually do. For some reason everything is a little bit screwed up after that first barrack. But you do have Marines quicker. That's the main advantage. But you do have range and Stim, I think about 15 to 30 seconds slower. You just find a nice little corner there, just like the last time, the game that I just casted yesterday. He finds a nice little spot there on the top corner to attack a hatchery. Sunken colony is already there on the way, but it's a creep colony still. And that hatchery might actually be going down before the Sunken actually finishes, because it's going... Well, it's not going quick enough, because he's not attacking with every single one of them. He's only attacking with 7 of them, and a couple of them are attacking the Ag. So the Ag is actually saving the hatchery and buying time. So Light places his Zerglings there in the choke to intercept reinforcements. That's a pretty smart move because he cannot attack against this up until he has enough Zerglings. He got Zergling speed there on the way, Lurker aspect also on the way. So he's going for Zergling Lurker combination there. He's going to try to get us around. He burrows up his Zerglings there in the front. I'm going to get pull these back behind, get us around on the Zerglings, but Light is not falling for it. He's instead going for these Zerglings there. So these burrowed Zerglings are not going to serve their purpose. Though he's going to walk a couple of his Marines over those burrowed Zerglings. Whether Light will Light notices he's going to go for the attack, but he's actually getting caught off guard there. He's going to have to re-burrow up his Zerglings if he wants to keep them alive. But he's retreating them instead. bring them back to the base, because maybe he needs more of those Zerglings back here at the base. Light always knows what he's doing, so there's always a reason behind every single move he makes. He's got Overlord Speed on the way there as well, or is it Overlord Transport? I kind of forgot what it looks like. Yeah, he's got the Zergling Speed fully burrows them up once again, because he knows that JH will probably go for the frontal attack here, but maybe JH saw them being burrowed up, so he's not going for it just yet. No, he's got to go for it. He goes for it. Zerglings unburrow, but the Zerglings actually unburrow a little bit too far away, so the setup is not actually working out, but he is going in there nonetheless, and the Marines might biting off more than they can chew, although the Mags keep healing, but the Zerglings in the back have done so much damage to the Marines. The Marines have to pull back, there's only 5 of them left, more are on the way. He's building a turret there now as well, because he knows that lurkers are on the way. 4 lurkers are being morphed there on the side. Let's see what he has in his base. He's got a starport, he's got a factory, but the placement is kind of wacky. But all that matters is that he has them. He's got the science facility on the way there as well. Yeah, he's looking fine. He's progressing exactly as he should be. Tanks are a little bit late. The Vessel will be on time, though, because he didn't go all in on the tanks. He didn't go all in yet. He is spending this quite well. He's getting that Overlord there in the top corner. A little bit sloppy from Light. He wanted to get vision there on the hill, but he gets caught off guard just before. He's going to get that turret there in the back as well. But the lurkers can do their job. Pretty smart move now, which also means these Marines are boxed in and can't return back home. He's going to run into some Marines here though, but he's setting them to the side there. I think he's going to... I see what he's going to do. He's going to move up to this Overlord and fly them over. But he's going to have to burrow them up first, because those Marines are on the hunt. He burrows them up. Marines are now incapable of fighting against the lurkers, but I think that JH knows what Light is up to here, because he saw that Overlord earlier, already put some Marines there in between to intercept. He's going to build turrets there around his command center as well. He knows what Light is up to. Smart move from Light, but it's not going to work. He's going to try to kill that Overlord to prevent it from flying past the hill. He's going to kill those Marines there though with that lurker. He's going to try to kill those other Marines there as well. Oh, he's trying to... Yeah, the Overlord is going to go down. Well, actually no, it stays alive because it just goes out of range just in time. And is now hanging over the lurker, but the Overlord can no longer pick up the lurkers, because the moment the lurker unburrows, those units are going to come in and kill that thing. You build a wall there as well to keep the lurkers out, but the wall served its purpose because he's no longer in danger of getting run in with those lurkers. So everything is going fine for Light. Everything is going fine for JH as well. The game is looking to be going into the next stage, the middle stage of the game, where the vessels come out. Well, he's going for a dropship first. I was expecting a vessel first. Oh, that vessel is right there. I missed it. Or yes, the vessel is going for a dropship next, possibly to land tanks upon the hill. But Light is already going for macro. He's not hovering around on low hatchery count any longer. He knows he has to scale up, get richer, because he also knows that JH has been getting richer quite steadily. Some pretty smart insight there from Light. Going to kill those lurkers in the front, but the Zerglings are buying time by taking focus away from the lurkers, and the lurkers now being able to burrow out, unburrow, and retreat back to the main. Smart move. He's got 5 lurkers now here in total. 2 more lurkers, of course, are still there on the side here. He's gonna kill the Overlords here first to try and supply block his opponent. He's gonna get this one as well. He gets that one as well. That's once again Light is supply blocked. He might clear out this side too, but there's also a chance that Light, knowing this will happen, has moved his... No, he has... No point, of course. Goes in here. Oh, he notices he's sieging up. He's pushing forward. That's a lot he's going to go for. The vessel, but the vessel's going to move forward first. Marines are there. Marines are going to snipe. No, Marines scared the Scorches away. One of the... Oh, he gets the dropship instead. He managed to unload 2 of his firebats that were inside the dropship. He had more of them in there, but only 2 of them managed to unload. So quite quick reaction there from JH. But he's unable to progress forward because he lost so many units and tanks there in an exchange with the lurkers, and he's currently in a stalemate. He can try to move forward, but he has radiate still on the way, so he can't radiate the drones just yet. He's slowly setting up his tanks there, a little bit going forward. There's 2 lurkers that have moved here from this spot there to the mill here to intercept units, and because there's no detection, JH can currently not move out with his units. He needs his vessel there on the scene first, and vessel goes in for the radiate, but Light has burrow upgrade. He immediately burrows his drones, only loses a single drone, which now also means that he can go forward with these Zerglings and the lurkers. The lurkers are taking care of the tank really quick, which now means that the Marines are forced to pull back. I really like this play from Light. It's so smart. and very micro intense, but it's so focused on timing and setup. He forces a response from JH and then abuses that response. That's really great awareness and play here from Light. Vessel once again goes down. He's walking his units over all those lurkers that are on the middle, thinking he had killed one of them, but it was in fact 2 lurkers, and he winds up losing a bunch of his mass there as he walks over to Light's base. Sloppy from JH, but he was focused on the fight happening here while his units were moving across the map. Tries to go once again, but the Dark Swarm is already finished, and he gets a lurker under the Dark Swarm, which now means once again he has to pull back to the entrance, but he's going to cut up the path there with that other lurker, and the Dark Swarm on that one as well, so he can't attack that one either. Now the lurkers are going to cut off these units here on the very last little portion. They're running away, and he's sitting up there in the bottom corner of Light's base, which now Light can finish them off, but another Radiate there coming down on a Larva, but he burrows up just in time, loses only a couple of drones, burrows most of them, and he kills and clears out the units on the bottom side as well. This game is kind of unorthodox, because we don't often see it happen like this, but Light is doing really well. He's doing really well with holding JH. Ooh, once again JH making that mistake there on the middle. Look at this, this is quite painful. A lot of Marines are going down. Actually, not a lot of them go down, they just take damage, but there's no medic there to heal them up. Lurker Swarm comes down in the front there, great move there from Light. Gets it up just in time before he loses Lurkers to the tanks and the vessels. He did lose that Defiler there though. Vessels are trying to find a way in to go for another. Damn. There's some itching in my throat. I need some water, that's it. I need some water. Ah, refreshing. Alright, so he's progressing slowly, getting some abuse down as well, but those Scourges shut that down pretty well. He's got every single tech he needs. He's got 2 Evo Chambers for upgrades. All the upgrades, of course, are on the way. Already has Lurker Carapace upgrades on the way as well. He's now setting out units here to the front, using those Zerglings to tank and allow those Lurkers to move forward and burrow up right next to those tanks. But there's mines are in the back from JH. Well, he clears out all the mines with the Zerglings. It's kind of worth it, because he was, of course, already prepared to lose those Zerglings. The Zerglings are purely there to tank shots from tanks and Marines as the Lurkers burrow up and push forward. So great move there from Light. He starts adding on more hatcheries as well because he knows he needs more macro. He's kind of doing a turtle build, but he's turtling only with his Lurkers and his Zerglings, and he's doing so quite well. Unlike the game from yesterday, where it was Mong playing the Zerg, Mong was really not defending as well as Light is doing now, even though he's pretty much facing the exact same thing. Apart from the Vessel abuse to the degree that Ramp was abusing. But Monk wasn't pushing back against those units that Rabbit had there in the choke, but Light, JH is actively getting pushed back here by Light. Light has a great understanding of when he can go for it, when he can't, what he can do, what he cannot do. Once again, great move there. Saves the Lurker and uses the Dark Swarming to safely clear out those turrets here on the side and get something done. The Lurker is even burrowed up here, so he's going to lose the fighter either. So the fighter stays alive, although he's making a big mistake here in the front. He gets the Dark Swarm. No, he has no energy for a Dark Swarm. The Dark Swarm is now getting to consume just in time to get another Dark Swarm up there in the front and keeps JH out of his base. But now it means that these vessels are going to go for the drones there in the back. There's a lot of Scourges there in between those. Scourges are going straight for the vessels, but a couple of vessels are going to make it through. No, the vessels don't make it through. He did get the fighter there though, so the fighter is going to go down, which means that he needs the fighter there in the back as well, so he can continue throwing down Dark Swarms. He got down another Dark Swarm with the radiated the fighter there as well, so he is still fine at the moment. Unistera still burrowed up, another vessel goes in, but there's once again Scourges in between, but there's still 3 vessels here alive, and they're going to go for the drones. But I think Light will burrow up his drones just in time. He burrows them up. Yep, burrowing them up. Ooh, another one. He's going to get some kills with that one. No, he burrows up. He only gets 3 kills there once again. So Light is having some great responses and awareness there to what JH is doing. JH is doing the correct moves, but Light is answering correctly as well. And because he used his vessels to go for the raiding, he has no detection in the front. If he had kept one of those vessels there in the choke, he could have killed those lurkers there in the front. But now he's losing his vessels instead. More vessels might be on the way there, though, to detect those lurkers there in the front. But the Dark Swarm is going to go. Oh, he's going to move out with his Ultralisks first, and his Zerglings as well. He's going to burrow those lurkers there, of course, as well. And he's going to throw those Dark Swarms there on those units. And he's pushing back. Light is finally pushing back. He's going to try to get some great moves down here on JH, but JH is doing massive units here on the middle, but those units might not be enough. He does have a lot of vessels there, though, and the vessels get radiates down on the lurkers. He's going to kill those lurkers there with the radiates, but he's going to clear out the units here on the middle of the map very quickly for sure. There's a couple of them mines there, though, ready to intercept those Ultralisks, but he gets the radiate down on all the Ultralisks, so the Ultralisks are going to go down, but they have already cleared out all the tanks and the Marines there in the front. So he has taken, I'd like to claim he has taken control over the middle. Well, at least over a portion of the middle, because these lurkers there under the Dark Swarm are going to secure this portion as more lurkers, Ultralisk and Zerglings are moving cross-map to attack JH's base, but vessels are already moving out here because, well, they already used their radiates, although some of them still have radiate, but he's going to try to go in and get another radiate down on the drones, but the drones are going to get burrowed up or they're going to go down. Gets burrowed up just in time, so once again, only 2 more drones go down to the radiates, and Light's economy is perfectly fine, while JH is getting attacked in the front, but tanks are just spawning up there to keep these units away. Yeah, the aggression is coming in now from Light. JH almost has a full base, but his base is looking very messy. There's Starport screwing about all the place factories as well, but he has enough factories and Starports for now. Great radiates there coming down on the Ultralisk, but the Ultralisks are going to get on top of those tanks nonetheless. He clears out that turret there in the front. Another mass stream of units, Zerglings mostly, are coming out from Light. He wants to keep the pressure and prevent JH from recovering and rebuilding a mass tank army. That would pretty much render ground forces unusable, basically. Scorches once again going for the vessels there to appease. 2 vessels still alive. Zerglings are coming in, but the Zerglings are facing too many tanks at the moment to go through. Although those drones there are the true MVPs. Look at them go. Yeah, getting some damage down on those tanks. He throws down 2 Dark Swarms, but there's nothing here to put under the Dark Swarms. Although Lurkers, no, Ultralisks are on the way. Lurkers on the way there as well. He's also clearing out the sides there with his Ultralisk to protect his Overlords and regain side vision. Pretty smart move. Still has the Lurker and the fighter there on the side as well, but vessels are only moving out across the map to go for another radiate. But I think he might be using too many of his vessels to go for those radiates on the drones without getting any results, which gives Light the opportunity to send in units just like this, and those Ultralisks are getting on top of the tanks, and JH is cutting it very close to the edge. Where are the vessels? Where are the vessels? Oh, he lost the vessels already to the Scorches, so really great awareness there from Light. Taking down those vessels there before they can arrive on the scene, because he has this vision there from the fighter and the Ultralisk that told him that vessels were coming. So actually JH is now on the defensive. He's trying to recover as fast as he can, but he's constantly facing very small amounts of units that are getting on top of his tanks, and then his own tanks kill his own tanks, because those Zerglings are attacking the tanks. And the splash damage, of course, comes in quite handy. Once again goes in with vessels, but once again there's 8 Scorches there ready to take out the vessels, and he does so perfectly fine. Zerglings still clearing out there on the sides. He's got his upgrades on level, well, level 2 carapace, level 2, wait no, yeah, level 2 carapace, level 2 weapon there for his ground forces. His Lurkers are on only 2 carapace there, so he's doing quite well with his upgrades there. He only needs level 3 and then he'll be completely fine. He's got a Spire now on the way as well, a greater Spire in fact, so he might be going for a tech switch as soon as he can afford Mass Mutalisk and then of course Mass Guardians. But the Ultralisks and the Lurkers are not very cost efficient because they're quite expensive for your gas income. But he's going in there with a mass attack. He's got a Lurker there underneath the Dark Swarm against those unsieged tanks, which is taking focus away from the other units. He's got the fighter on the hill as well. Can't use Radiate with it though, but he does have a couple of Scorches there ready to be eaten up. But yeah, he's taking too much time. There's simply too many tanks sieged up here in the back for JH. JH can very easily defend against this stream of units coming in. It's also very hard for Light's units to get on top of the tanks, because the tanks are in between these very narrow pathways, and if a Lurker tries to enter, it will be blocking access for Zerg and anything else. But you just got a Lurker burrowed up there in the front though, which will take focus away from these Ultralisks that are getting through. Although these tanks in the back, of course, will be able to fire on the Lurkers, but he does lack some upgrades on his tank armor. Unlike Light, who has level 2 armor already finished up. Of course, that's level 4 armor for the Ultralisks because they get more stats out of the Carapace upgrades. So yeah, this is looking quite hench here. He's got a lot of vessels there. He's going to have to rely on vessels. He's got Scourges there on the way, but Scourge is going to fly over turrets, so they might not kill all of the vessels there, but he's going to get some vessel kills nonetheless. He gets only 2, and he's got Valkyries now on the way as well. Light is trying to clear out all those vessels, so he no longer has detection against the Lurkers, as the Lurkers are very slowly progressing forward under the Dark Swarm, but the Dark Swarm ends, and there's no Defiler anywhere close because it died to a Radiant just earlier. But those Zerglings are getting on top of the tanks, although they have to walk around those factories to even reach. So JH is now making a lot of vultures to try and kill those Zerglings before they kill the tanks that are behind the factories. He's getting on top of the tanks there though, so all Light has to do is keep sending in units and units and more units, and he might be able to kill those tanks there, although the number of tanks is going to increase in between these small intervals of sending units in. Valkyries are on the side. Scorches are chasing. Mines are being placed in the front. Very smart move there from JH. The mines, though, are not killing anything because those attack speed Zerglings are quicker than the exploding mine. So once again, units coming in and killing tanks and whatever. This is going to be very close here. If JH dies here already, this might be a very nice Zerg versus Terran actually. Like, this is a true Zerg versus Terran spirit. Non-stop pressure, non-stop attacks, never giving the Terran time to rest with the streams of units coming in non-stop, but more tanks are spawning, and he's getting a pretty good arc, so to speak. Like, this is a pretty nice arc where Light's units have to fly in, well, walk and run into, and maybe even die before they arrive on the scene. He's building structures in the front as well, so that these units will attack the structures first. Mines are exploding on their Ultralisks. Yeah, this looks like JH survived by a hair's breadth. The vessels are coming in. Valkyries there as well to protect the vessels. He's going to go for the Eraser move. The Valkyries are going to take out the Scorcher before they can kill the vessels. So that means that right now, Light is going to have to keep his all of his drones burrowed up for an extended period of time. He's getting some drone kills that are on the gas, but he managed to burrow up most of his drones. He's got 69 drones of them left. Pretty much all of them are burrowed. Looks like the Scorchers are very slowly killing units. This also means that there will be a small lag in production for Light as JH tries to recover. JH is repairing his building, he's placing mines in the front, Zerglings are coming in, Ultras coming in as well. Zerglings are great micro there from JH, he's trying to draw those Zerglings away from the tanks, but Zerglings and Ultras actually still get on top of the tanks. But there's too many units here in the back for those Zerglings to fight into. So actually, those two vultures here did a great job in drawing a lot of units away from the base and potentially preventing a lot of damage to his units, to his army size, to his tanks, and to his defensive setup here. But Light is going to have to start preserving some of his income, or at least some of his gas, because he's run out of gas, and he's going to have to go for some form of a tech switch if he wants to keep dealing damage to JH. Though he's killing the army there on the side, going to kill his depot there as well, so he's still getting stuff done. He might even get another kill. These Zerglings tear through buildings at lightning speed. Look at that go. It's going so fast, you can never underestimate fully upgraded Zerglings. Oh, I wanted to select it. There it is, fully upgraded. That's 8 damage, and he's got attack speed upgrade as well. Zerglings, they might appear weak, but they're pretty... Oh, he's morphing his Guardians right next to Raids, so he has to, well, stop morphing up and kill the Raids first, and then, of course, go for the morph. But the question is, can he afford turning them all into Guardians? His gas at the moment, as I mentioned earlier, is still quite low, because he's not mining from everything, actually. He's not mining from this one, it appears, and that one either. He's only mining from 8, and he also lost a couple of drones there to the vessels earlier. He even lost some drones that were on his minerals, so in the end, it looks like JH actually got some drone kills. I missed it, but he got some of them. So Vulture's going into the middle of the map, placing mines to kind of build an obstacle for Light to have to walk through. So he's going to lose some units if he goes into the middle of the map, unless of course he has like 2,000 Hydralisks just walk into the middle and they will take down the mines without much effort. Once again, relying on Scorches there to defend his minerals. JH is rebuilding, so this is actually a really good time for JH that he managed to slow Light's economy down to such a degree that JH now is getting himself some nice little room to breathe, rebuild his base, mass up, get maxed out supply, and formulate an answer to what Light is up to. Because Light, JH can still see everything Light is doing with the scans, and I think JH has, well, he only has one scan. I was expecting 2 or even 3, but he only has one of them. So the information stream for Light might not be that constant, but at least at times he will have scans. Mines are going to clear out, Mutalisks are going to clear out the mines. Or I could have said mines are going to clear out by the Mutalisks, but Overlord flies away a little bit too early, so that one doesn't get cleared out, but that one's not going to be very relevant. Scorch is going to kill that command center here. Command center is going to burn to death. Very slowly though, it's a very slow process. So JH feels comfortable. He feels he can go because he is maxed out, although a lot of units are still inside the factory, so he is in fact not yet maxed out. But he plans on moving out already. There's a unit underneath. A Defiler by... It's so smart from Light. He simply throws down a Dark Swarm on top of the Defiler, so now that he doesn't even have to burrow it up. These unsieged units will just simply attack it. We threw down... It eventually does go down, I guess. Not quite sure what it died to. Or radiate, maybe? Or maybe the Vulture can attack units under the Dark Swarm. Not quite sure about that one. So he gets another Dark Swarm down here in the front, and he's going to keep JH out. So that's a pretty quick, good move there. He's trying to kill more vessels. This is the point where vessels keep flying over. Light has noticed, so he's hanging them there in between. He's got Guardians on the way there as well to intercept air units and vessels. He managed to intercept the mass drop that was coming in from Light. A lot of lurkers, the Defilers here now, on the middle of the map behind enemy lines, though the enemy line is already moving back to base to reassert himself and reset up his defense here in his base, but he's forcing those tanks to split up. He's going to kill a couple of them as there as well. Pretty smart move from JH to siege them up right there, because that's going to keep units away. Units have to fight through those tanks there first. Tanks are here as well, so he has to fight through a bunch of tanks there before he can arrive in JH's base, but at least he gets a couple of lurkers burrowed up underneath those Dark Swarms, as the Fire is there, still alive, but has no energy for another Dark Swarm. So JH is holding out pretty well. He's got tanks there set up behind those factories. He's completely safe for now. But this does also mean that Light can now start formulating yet another answer and can start clearing out these tanks here in the front. And hopefully these tanks here on the side as well. And maybe even start clearing out buildings strewn about all over the map that have been giving away Light's movements on the map and his attempts to attack JH. Very slowly progressing. Very slowly progressing. The Ogre's moving out. Going to try to kill some Overlords here on the side. Maybe kill those Scorches and these Overlords right there. Not quite sure what he's up to with them, but he's mostly scouting, I assume. Light manages to once again make it through to JH's base, but as I mentioned before, there might simply be too many tanks. Though he gets another Dark Swarm up there in the choke point, and that's going to be a very big problem there for JH, because that means he might be able to move forward, but he's going in with the Vessels and Valkyries. Once again, Valkyries are tanking the Spores. The Spores are going to get radiated down on the drones, but drones are being murdered up quite quick. Wait, no, he gets about 20 drone kills there. Pretty nice shot there, but most of those have been burrowed up. So once again, he slows down Light's economy, but Light has enough minerals and gas at the moment to not really be bothered by it. He's still got the fight in the back. Doesn't have energy though for another Dark Swarm, so the Dark Swarm is going to end soon. Looks like JH is going to radiate everything there. Oh, he's radiating the fighters in the back that still have energy. It's a pretty smart move. He saw them with the engineering base, so no more Dark. Oh, he throws down Dark Swarms very quick here in the front. Lurkers here cannot unburrow, because then they would simply get shut down by those tanks immediately, although the vessels are returning, which means those lurkers are going to go down nonetheless. Ultras are there in between trying to deal damage, but not really achieving much. Scorchers are on the hunt for those vessels, but vessels are running away back to the turrets because they want to survive, but they go down in the end nonetheless. But more of them are spawning, and more units are here on the way. Sending some Hydralisks as well. Though I don't see those Hydralisks achieving much except clear out those hovering buildings, which I think was his goal. Clear out hovering buildings that are blocking him and annoying him and giving vision to JH. And he's doing the same here. He's building engineering bases in the front to simply be annoying and add another obstacle that Light first has to kill with his units when he moves them over to JH's base before he can actually attack JH. A lot of stuff happening, but it's mostly a back and forth. It seems to be going in favor of Light so far, in my opinion, because JH is continuously getting pushed back into a corner. Light is saving up gas. Keep note of that. He's not spending his gas on a lot of units, to be honest. He's more of those Hydralisks, he's more of those Lurkers, he's got some Defiants as well, but he's mostly saving up gas by spending a lot of his minerals on Zerglings. He managed to get some units here in the corner, but they all go down without achieving results. There were no Lurkers in there, or they got taken down pretty much instantly. He had an Overlord drop flying in, got taken down. He got a Dark Swarm down, but the Dark Swarms achieved nothing. But the attempt was there, and the fact that he managed to get in means that he might try again in the future. Vessels find Guardians, but they're gonna get the Guardians nonetheless there. He's using a couple of those vessels to get the Guardian kills. He's got drop ships moving across the map there as well. Not sure where he's gonna land them, although the vessels are gonna go down to the Scorches pretty much before they achieve much. And the dropships are flying into the Spores by accident. Sloppy move there from JH. He tried to get a drop down on those units here in the back, but he failed. And another attempt from a player gets shut down before it achieves real results. Two Guardians still left alive there, but they're going to get taken down by the Valkyrie. It's being taken care of just perfectly fine. Light balling up another. He's going to go for a drop from the bottom corner here, but he might get spotted out by this science facility. Or, maybe he got spotted out by those tanks. I'm not sure if those tanks saw the Overlords, but he's going to put those units into the Overlords, fly them over, and hopefully get a drop down on his opponent. That's kind of the beauty of Fastest Map. You can very quickly formulate new ways and methods of attacking, but the Valkyries are there just right on the scene, so he is forced to unload. You're on the side. He's going to try to get in further and deeper. The fighters go down. Well, not immediately. He gets them burrowed up here on the corner. He's going for another corner drop there as well. So dropping on two corners at the same time while JH is moving out all his units into the middle of the map. And now JH is looking at a pretty bad situation here. Because this is getting taken down by Lurkers. Although, do note, there's no more Defiants here. So those Lurkers are going to run out of Dark Swarm time very soon. But those Zerglings here on the top are taking care of everything that's there. And he's only got 5 tanks there in the back. 6 now. Vessels there as well. Mass Scorchers are moving out over the map, and they get intercepted by Valkyries because they're trying to go for these Valkyries, but they get killed by another set of Valkyries. Zerglings are clearing out those tanks here in the front, but a lot of Zerglings go down to the tanks before they arrive at the tanks and take them down. So that is pretty good there for JH, because now that means that there's fewer units coming his way. But JH has lost a lot of depots. He's now on 168 maximum supply cap. So Light is still keeping JH on his toes. He's not having much trouble with all these attempts of moving out by JH. JH once again is going to try to go for a Vessel Radiate drop attempt here on those workers. But that once again also kind of limits his offensive ability by always throwing away his vessels. Even though vessels have great offensive ability in straight on fights. He goes for the Eraser move once again. Is he going to get some drone kills? I think he got about 20. Pretty good move. He's going to get more drones down here on the bottom side of the gas that haven't been burrowed up. And this is going to mess up Light's economy for a while, because now he has to reorganize all the drones on the gas. Yeah, he has to reorganize them, and that's a very annoying and time-consuming process. He got 54 drones, no minerals at the moment. He's making Zerglings, no drones. He's completely content with only having 54 drones. I'm not quite sure if I agree, but the man has a plan, I'm sure. The man has a plan. He obviously has. So yeah, now he's finally reorganizing his own base, because, well, buildings were blocking other buildings, they weren't looking pretty, they weren't optimized, well, placed optimally, that's the way to say it. And he has to rebuild his depots as well. He built depots here on the top side because he couldn't build them on the bottom side, but it's really making his SimCity more difficult. Light, though, is not planning on giving him time, because already has Overlords in position there to go for another Overlord drop in the near future. He's got Scorchers moving out and more Overlords moving to this other side to go for yet again another Overlord drop. But he's getting spotted out by Valkyries here. So he's gonna lose those Overlords there with Lurkers, Zerglings, and Ultralisks inside them. And yeah, it pretty much gets to unload nothing at all. Everything goes down before it deals any significant damage. Those two Ultralisks there get in between the tanks, but achieve nothing. Got this other one here, but this one is actually an empty drop. He just has those overlords there on the side in case he wants to send units here and pick them up and fly them in. Valkyries once again going for kills on Scorches just to be annoying. He can afford to throw them away. That's at least what he's doing, although he's keeping them alive for now and pulls them back to his own base. Exchange happening here on the middle. Those lurkers are lying in wait to kill those tanks as they roll over after killing those zerglings. JH won't be expecting this. It's going to be a brutal killing, and yeah, he's going to kill all of them. Look at them go. And right followed up by that mass Hydralisk army is moving out of Light's base, cross map. He's got the finals here in the back as well, ready to go in. Well, he's got a lot of tanks here, so he should be completely fine in the face of those Hydralisks. Light isn't quite sure what to do anymore because nothing has really done enough to put JH in such a bad position that JH cannot fight back. Or maybe JH has been doing a great job of continuously harassing the income of Light, which disrupts Light's ability to keep throwing out mass attacks non-stop continuously to very slowly shrink the unit army size of JH or the base size of JH, but JH has been holding on. Lurkers, Hydralisks, the fighters soon as well. See him a couple of them in the back. He's got some drones in the front as well. He's going to put them on his minerals or on his gas. One of the two. I gotta admit, I'm not quite a fan of the fact that Light is always on such low minerals, but, well, we have been seeing him getting continuously harassed, but his worker count is also quite low. 63, when he kind of, as a Zerg, you kind of need somewhere around 75 or 80. Once again, riding his tanks into the Lurker Swarm. With the Lurkers there, get protected by the Swarm, tanks cannot progress, and now JH is contained and confined to his own base once again. Light has been in the driver's seat, but has not been driving to the finish line just yet. He's still trying to crack the code. Still racing the race. Vessels are already there to start killing defilers or lurkers. There's a lot of defilers here. There's simply too many defilers for those vessels to kill. He's hunting for them though. He's trying to find them. But if he can't find them, I'm sure he's going to go for the drones once again. He wants to get those drone kills. He wants to keep harassing that income from Light. But there's a lot of Hydralisk here ready to intercept and snipe the vessels before they arrive. He gets he gets to radiate down all the drones, but they're only getting burrowed up pretty much instantly. One of them is still alive, but he gets no radiate off. And once again, he throws away. Oh, that's a lot of. He's getting queens with Parasite upgrade to kill tanks with the Parasite. That's pretty smart. If you cannot physically reach the tanks, get some queens and get Parasite upgrade. And then you use Parasite. Or well, Brutling. It's Brutling. It's not Parasite, it's Brutling. You spawn Brutlings in the tanks and the tanks go down. It's a really smart way of taking care of tank lines, rather defending or trying to push forward if you're a Zerg player. So I'm kind of happy to see that because we pretty much never ever see that happening on Fastest Map. He flies dropships straight into those Hydralisks there on the side. But he manages to divert them. Where is he going to put them? Up on the hill. He's going to try to disrupt his bottom side here. But as I mentioned before, Light does have those queens. So he can take care of those tanks up on the hill pretty easily, although a couple of Valkyries are there to protect, but it's only 2 Valkyries, and it's not going to be enough. He just gets kills on the spores there though, so I think he is achieving what he wanted to do, killing those spores. Although he also has some Zerglings inside the Overlord ready to kill the tanks. Zerglings can pass through his tiny little hole there, but the Zerglings go down. Hydralisks on the low ground though are taking care of the tank, so he clears out that annoyance there up on the hill. Although the hit chance is really making it hard to hit the tank. He goes and kills the tank eventually. Valkyries are still trying to hunt. And yeah, he pretty much can do nothing. He needs vessels to progress, but he threw away all his vessels, so he has to wait for more vessels to finish. I really am not a fan of throwing away your vessels every single time, because honestly, you need those vessels to fight against the defilers and the lurkers under the Dark Swarm. Because if you gotta kill the defilers to prevent the Dark Swarms from happening, and create an opening of Dark Swarm downtime. But also, in some cases, you want to radiate those lurkers under the Dark Swarm and cut off the supply line of lurkers that you can push forward in a small window of downtime. And GH has simply been throwing away his vessels. I really don't like that. I do like this. It's a small little proxy base there for SCVs. You might build a proxy base here with a lot of factories so you can circumvent these lurkers here in the front. He's landing tanks on the hill here as well to try and get control of this entire side portion. But the queens are coming in, ready to take care of the mech army. There come the Brootlings. They're gonna take down those tanks that are up on the hill without much effort, and look at them go. Gonna take down these tanks here as well. Those tanks are in front too. And yeah, this is quick work. It's making quick work of it. I really like it. I really like it. Goodbye tanks. It just makes it look so easy. And now come in the Zerglings and the Hydralisk as those units up on the hill have been cleared out, but there's still tanks in the base. Not a lot of them though. Most of them are in the back. He's gonna start moving them forward. Once again, goes in with the vessels. He's going to try to get the fighter kills or drone kills. Once again, he's not giving up. It hasn't worked a single time so far, but he's not giving up hope. Light, though, is aware that it's happening, and Light loses no drones whatsoever. At the same time, he's attacking here in the front, but there's no lurkers in the mix here. He's going to have to throw down Dark Swarms if he wants to get lurkers moved to the front as well. It's kind of sad he forgot those lurkers, because if he had those lurkers under the Dark Swarm, those tanks will be firing on the lurkers under the Dark Swarm for a long period of time, and he'll be able to move more units forward. He's going in now, though. He gets his lurkers burrowed up right there, so there's still a pretty good spot there. Hatchet there on the bottom corner. He's gonna build a Nidus Canal here. I think he's up to something. That I'm sure of. He's up to something, but I don't know what he's up to. I know it's gonna be a Nidus Canal, but what is he gonna do after that Nidus Canal? Tanks up on the hill here defensively, gonna make life very hard there for Light. He burrows up two of his defilers, loses another one. He's got lurkers morphing here as well, but those tanks are gonna kill those eggs before they finish morphing. So these lurkers in the front are gonna be the only vestige of a foothold that Light still has in JH's choke. More units are on the way. Those tanks up on the hill are still being extremely annoying, and he cannot kill them yet. He's attacking them though with 1 or 2 Hydralisks, but those Hydralisks are actually getting protected by the Zerglings, which are taking focus from the tanks, with more tanks being loaded up on the other hill here. He's got 2 drones there, so he's going to build something there on the bottom corner. He's got a lot of lurkers now coming in as well. He still only has 1 defiler. It's still alive, but it might get taken down very soon. The lurkers are burrowing up. He's going to have to unburrow that defiler very soon and get more Dark Swarms down here in the choke point. This is a lot of lurkers, but too few Dark Swarms. Well, he can no longer select it, basically, so he might not even know that it's still there. I don't think he knows. I think he forgot that it was there. It's still alive. But it's under a lurker, so you can't... Oh, he knows he had it. He tried to throw the Dark Swarm just in time, but he was a little bit too late. Just a little bit too late. So Overlords are arriving here at the, proxy base that is currently still lacking in Nidus Canal. Also, do note, Light is finally rich. He's finally rich. He has 8,000 minerals because the drone harassment from JH has simply not been working anymore. But he is being annoying here, buying himself a lot of time by once again putting tanks there up on the hill, which Light has to clear out first, which gives him time to set up and clear out these lurkers in the front. If he only had a vessel, which he has there in the back, but he's not moving them forward just yet. He's focusing on this hill fight here. He's trying to protect those tanks there with the Valkyries. But actually, he's focusing on the wrong thing. He should be focusing on clearing out those lurkers, which he is doing right now. There's no defiler here to throw down another Dark Swarm to protect those lurkers. So these tanks are gonna just do their job and make sure those lurkers all die. Still has Brootlings there up on the hill. Mulists are coming in to kill the tanks, but there's actually a Dark Swarm protecting both tanks. That was an accident there from Light, although the Dark Swarm now ends. But the Valkyries are taking down the Mulists. More Mulists are coming in. He threw a plague on those Valkyries as well. So the Valkyries will soon be on very low HP, so the Mulists will eventually win that fight, which means those tanks are also going to get taken down, but more tanks will be put on the other hill. So now JH, despite being contained, is still having a field day there with harassing Light and keeping Light occupied. He's moving out here though. He's gonna have to siege up though first. Well, he's taking down those lurkers quite quick, so that's going pretty well for JH. He's got a lot of Mulisk there finished up. JH currently has no Valkyries, but he has, I think, about 10 or so starports, so he will have 10 Valkyries soon as well. But he won't have a lot of vessels, because I think he's going to go for that attack there on the drones once again. After he clears all these morphing Guardians out with those Valkyries, he's going to clear them out, most of them, I think, or maybe... No, these are Devourers. These are Guardians. No. Yeah, Guardians all over here. The Devourers spawn. The Devourers are going to take down the Valkyries. Dropships are going to come in and try to get the shot up on the drones there as they... Well, he needs detection because those drones are going to burrow up. He's also moving his Guardians back and forth, anticipating a movement from those dropships. But I think he's given up on those dropships. No, he's going to go for it nonetheless. He's going to go for it. He's going to try. Flies in. Flies in. He's going to get any drone kills. He unloads. There's nothing there to kill the tanks. Light accepts his fate and simply lets his drones die. He couldn't save them. And the tanks serve their purpose and they go down. But will this have been enough? Because now we're in a situation where Light is on the counter-attack. He no longer has any Devourers except for that one. So the Guardians are going to come in. There's a couple of Valkyries there arriving on the scene. The Valkyries are going to clear out those Guardians, but the Guardians are going to get some tank kills there as well. A lot of Scourgers coming in to take care of the Valkyries. Will they get Valkyrie kills? Looks like they do, but not enough. Not enough. There's still 5 or 7 Valkyries there. But Queens are coming in as well to take care of the tanks here. This is a great attack here from Light. I think he killed all the tanks there with the Queens. Those Queens are having a field day, getting a lot of progress, getting a lot of kills there. But more tanks have spawned. And the air units have been cleared out by the Valkyries. And Light has no minerals to go for a follow-up attack. If only he had minerals, he could finish off JH. Although, he does have that nice canal here. And he's gonna go in. Although there's a tank there in the front that is disrupting the attack. The tanks eventually do go down though, but it disrupted the attack by a tiny bit, which might just cause this to be a failure. Lurkers are arriving a little bit early, but JH is already moving away with his vessels at a very bad time in the game. Because he needs those vessels back at home. He wants to go for another radiate attempt on those drones, but this might be a fatal mistake, because now all those lurkers are in his base, there's no detection, and the lurkers are gonna kill stuff. Although he uses the scan, because he built a second scan to detect the lurkers there, so pretty good move there from JH, but those Hydralisks and those Zerglings are getting on top of the tanks, and more units are going to come in. He goes for another radiate, but he gets no drone kills once again, and he does lose... He loses only one vessel, so the other vessel is still alive. He's got more vessels. No, he's got no vessels all the way in his base. He's making 2 vessels, but he mostly has Valkyries. And actually, he has way too many Valkyries. He has way too many... What are you doing, JH? You've got... This is 12 Valkyries. He's got another 12 in his base. 24 Valkyries. He has way too many Valkyries for no reason whatsoever. He can no longer make enough tanks. Light is going to come in with the mass Zergling attack, but those Zerglings are getting blocked by buildings, so they might not actually ever reach. The tanks are in the back, more tanks are spawning. Yeah, there was a little bit too much time in between the previous attack and the follow-up attack because of that disruption in Light's economy once again, and that's going to be the saving grace for JH here, because he is going to stay alive for a little while longer once again. But he will have to throw away those Valkyries. He's going to go Overlord hunting, I'm sure. But where does JH have all his Overlords? Oh, he has them near the bottom corner. There's some Overlords there. He's got... Oh, the old one is there as well. It's been standing there for the entire game. Not quite sure why. But it's been standing there, waiting patiently for its time to shine. Hopefully it will get that time, that moment to shine and make its mark, leave its mark on the world sometime soon. So yeah, he's going to have to throw away Valkyries because he needs more tanks. He needs more tanks instead of Valkyries. The Vars are being morphed for Light. And it looks like JH is not throwing away his Valkyries. He's sticking to the mass Valkyries. I don't agree whatsoever. Because he needs at least 24 tanks, in my opinion. He needs a lot more tanks, and he has pretty much only Valkyries at the moment. He's going to go for overlord kills. That's a massive supply block there on Light. Massive supply block, but Light, who has 80 drones, -1, will be able to build new overlords very quick, but he is at the moment also facing a shortage of minerals, because a little while ago he was forced to once again burrow his drones, which of course slows down your economy. So both players, well, mostly Light is waiting to be able to set up an attack, and JH is trying to turtle. He finds the proxy base there on the side. Overlords are going to go down, so once again, Light is supply stuck and incapable of producing anything except overlords, so no attack anytime soon from Light. JH though still has way too many Valkyries in his base and on the map. He lost a couple of them as he went in for the radiate on the drones, but he still has too many of them. He's making a lot of vessels now though, making tanks as well, rebuilding his base there too. He's buying himself a lot of time, and Light is simply biding his time as well. He's waiting for the setup. He got a queen in there, throws down a Brutling. He tried to get the tanks to splash damage on the Brutling and the SCVs there. I've never seen that specifically done before. I've never seen that attempted, but that is actually insanely smart. Trying to get Brutling splash damage on the SCVs with the tanks. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely mind-blowingly brilliant. Goes to show how much insight and game sense this guy has. Valkyries going in, Valkyries get intercepted by the Devourers. Vessels don't even try to go forward for the drones anymore. They simply know they can't, so JH just gives up. But now that he has thrown away his Valkyries, he has more supply space to build more tanks and get the right unit composition in the right numbers. But if Mulelisks are going in, mass Mulelisks, Devourers as well, he's got no anti-air. He lost all of his defilers, so he's got nothing to kill those Mulelisks except those turrets. He throws down a radiate there as well on one of his Mulelisks, so he's going to try to kill those SCVs there. He gets no SCV kills there whatsoever, but he also has a lot of Devourers here. So now he's going to be stuck in a state of constant repairing on that command center, because, well, do keep in mind the number of Mulelisks is only 8. That's not a lot of damage. But this will kill a lot of SCVs, because the ricochet damage is pretty big. Also, for some reason, Light is still an only level 2 attack for his air. 52 minutes into the game, so he had simply forgotten about upgrading that one. But yeah, a lot of SCVs going down there. It's already lost 30 SCVs there to the Mulelisks that are attacking the command center, and the ricocheting attacks, which are called glaive worms, are killing the SCVs as they bounce off the command center, kill the SCVs, and he's simply going to keep doing that. And this is draining a lot of minerals out of JH's bank. This is draining a lot of minerals, because when this attack happened, he had 7,000 minerals. Now he has 2,000. He is getting drained. This is such a great move from Light. He knew that JH threw away all of his Valkyries, so he just went for it. He just knew that JH had no ability to fight back, because he had no anti-air. And this might just be the thing that kills JH, because he got 39 SCVs. He does have a lot of tanks there, but not enough. Does not have enough tanks. I think a couple of queens kill tanks as well. Mulelisks are hunting for tanks here as well on the side. He's got queens there too. So Light has been doing a very methodical approach. Everything is so well thought out. And I've never seen anyone play Zerg versus Terran on Fastest Map quite like this. It's very unique. Completely different from anything I have ever seen. And I've seen a lot of Zerg vs. Terran games. I've seen a lot of them. But this, not yet. He's going to go for the Muta Bomb on the command center here from the side. He's got queens there in the mix. He's got the Var there as well, but he gets spotted out by a command center, ironically speaking. This one in particular that spotted him out. He's always going to fly around and try to go in from the other side, but there's, well, 12 Valkyries there in between its path. He returns back to base to change his direction, goes from the top down. JH now on 60 SCVs, 500 minerals, not a lot of them, But he's recovering. He is recovering. He's simply balling them up there on the side. He's got more Devourers finished. He's planning to go for a massive final attack. JH has a lot of Goliaths, which are great against Guardians. He's got no vessels at all. Not a single one. There's one burrowed Zergler in the front, keeping information on the front. It's also very smart. Got a Lurker Swarm there in the front to keep JH confined within the parameters of his base. But JH finds those Guardians just in time, but the Valkyries went out too early. They get debuffed by the Devourers, and they're gonna go down very slowly. They have to return back to base, and Guardians are now on the move, ready to go for an attack from the top down. Goliaths are gonna try to defend this, but I don't know if they'll be doing the job, because there's not that many Goliaths. He's got 11 of them. There's a lot of Guardians coming in from every single direction. The Valkyries are going to try to help, but they are useless with those Devourers hanging there as well. The damage on the Guardians is so low, he's simply forced to retreat and return. Vessels are spawning, Goliaths are attacking, but the Guardians are clearing everything out. In the end, it is Guardians that do the trick, I think. Guardians, Devourers, the Queens are taking care of those Goliaths as well. Pretty smart move there. He killed a couple of those Goliaths with the Queens and the Broodlings. More units coming in from the base, although they're heartless, not very significant. So yeah, he's clearing this out. JH is falling to one of the oldest compositions in the book, Devourers and Guardians. And yeah, this is it. This will be it, I think. We're 56 minutes in, almost 57. Goliaths are spawning, but there's not enough Goliaths. He's got 2 of them, 3 of them. He's got Valkyries there as well, everywhere in his base. Also, do note, there are no longer any Devourers, so he has to go now. He has to kill those Guardians right here, right now. But more Devourers are arriving on the scene just in time as those Valkyries go for the finishing move on the Guardians. But instead, the Valkyries will be finished by those Devourers. Look at them, they're tanking all those shots and not taking that much damage. It's simply taking too long. These Valkyries are completely debuffed into oblivion as more Guardians are being morphed here on the side, or maybe Devourers, not Guardians. Also, do note, light is insanely rich because JH has not been abusing his drones at all whatsoever anymore for the past 10 minutes. Yeah, he's now repairing his structures, he's trying to stay alive, he's building tanks. Why is he building tanks? That's the big question. Why is he making tanks when he needs Goliaths? Those Valkyries are not doing the trick. JH, you need Goliaths to fight against this. He does fend off those air units eventually, but Light, I think, already has way too many Mutalisks in his base, ready to morph or go for a Mutalisk bomb on the command center with the Queen to turn it into infested command center. If no, he's gonna go for Guardians. Devourers and Guardians. 2 Goliaths there are moved out past the safety zone, and they get taken down pretty quick. The Valkyries are still debuffed. He has to kill those Devourers quick, or otherwise he will die on the next attack. He has nothing that can defend against these Guardians or the Devourers, because the Devourers are killing his last line of defense. The Valkyries. He does have Goliaths on the way, but he lacks the supply space to make enough of them. He's making a lot of Valkyries still, but the Valkyries are facing their natural enemy, the Devourer. Guardians are spreading out all across the side, and they're going to clear this out. They're going to clear out these units, with the Devourers going in for the Valkyries. The Valkyries, useless, muda. Look at them, Guardians here in the back as well, ready to go in. And JH is getting torn apart to shreds. The layers of the onion of the Terran base are being peeled away as the Guardians greedily eat up those structures there on the side. putting their fangs into the steel structures, the steel plating of the factories and the starports. Tanks going down without mercy. The Varus debuffing the Valkyries trying their hardest. They know they are the last line of defense along with those Goliaths there on the low ground, but it is not enough. This line of Guardians will be the end of JH. He's gonna call GG. Yeah, there's GG. Timed perfectly. So that was the longest replay I've cast. Well, I've cast a longer one, but I sped that one up a lot. So this is the longest replay I've cast on real-time speed. It was almost 60 minutes long. And well, guess what? The Zerg wins. The Zerg was in the driver's seat. Light was in the driver's seat from start to finish. And JH was kind of running behind him non-stop like Tom and Jerry. Was chasing him, but could never quite get a hold on his opponent. Light was always one step ahead, a little bit smarter, a little bit quicker, a little bit more aware, and of course, his attention to detail in his execution of his plays, his moves, his attacks, his compositions was simply greater. He always had a read on JH. JH was simply stalling out the game by continuously, again and again, harassing those drones that Light had there. And Light, despite almost never losing drones, he lost drones I think about 3 or 4 times, which in the span of a 59-minute game is a very small amount. That's losing your drones maybe once per 15 minutes, which is actually really well played from Light. Because when you're Zerg on fastest map, you are always going to be prepared to at least lose your drones. Once, twice, maybe 5 times, maybe even more, maybe 8 times. Because most of the times you have enough minerals to simply make 50 new drones in an instant and put them back on the minerals. They're really well played from Light. I'm honestly impressed. I'm going to have to make a screenshot, like for a thumbnail sometime soon. So I'm going to have to rewind a little bit to some point in the game, not quite sure where. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a lengthy one. And hope to see you next time. And if you want to, you can decide to like, subscribe, do what you want. The choice, the power is in your hands.